And welcome back to part 5 of the What If Pokemon My Hero Academia crossover. Last time on the My Pokemon Academia crossover, we'll just call it that from now on. I mean, that's not what I'm going to label it, that's what I'm going to call it. Last time on the My Pokemon Academia crossover, Deku had just won his first gym battle against the grass leader Kamui Woods in Arbor City. Now him and Asui had only just met up with Shinso after he had just caught up with him after doing some training. And that is where we meet up, and that is basically where we leave off. So we start off, we start off the episode. We start things off basically with them just catching up, more or less. Shinso is talking to Deku, and he's like, "Oh, this is Asui. Nice to meet you." It's like, "Yeah, it's all right. I mean, we agreed to travel together, but Asui and I met up, and we kind of head off, so we just thought it'd be cool if we traveled together too." And then she's just like, "I don't know, I'm fine. No, I mean, too big a group might be a problem, but no, that's fine with me. You seem nice on the thing. Yeah, it's really. I'm glad to meet some good people. I mean, Deku and you seem pretty cool." It's like, yeah, but first things first, before we really start traveling together. And he pulls out his Pokeball. I got a gym badge. So it's like, all right, we'll work for me to stance. It goes up and again the mountain. He's like, "Oh God, another one? Come on, you got another one." I was like, huh? Now I think hypothetically, all gyms have like a portable Pokemon Center machine that just restores your Pokemon. I think it just makes sense. That's how it's kind of depicted in at least some fan fictions. I think it's I don't know if it's depicted like that in the animes at all. I don't think it is. But it would make sense because especially if you have, some days you might not have any challengers. Other days you will have challenger upon challenger upon challenger. You need to have your Pokemon in a fresh state to fight at all times. So more or less, that's how it is. And it's like, very well. And, they explain the rules. And it's like, all right, 2-on-2, da-da-da. Hajime, cut down to a slightly wooded area, but slightly grasslandy area, fars a bit a ways off. We see Bakugo, we see a Pokeball shaking on the ground as Bakugo has this very pissy look on his face, like, "The loser Deku, who does he think he is?" And as the Pokeball shakes, the Pokemon is captured, and his Whismur evolves into a Loudron. Now, obviously, the question now becomes, why did I choose a Loudron as one of his other Pokemon on his team? Well, it turns into Exploud, which is a very loud, violent Pokemon that has a lot of boisterous opinions and opinions. It's very boisterous and destructive. I mean, when you think about Exploud, pretty much, I mean, you'd think President Mike would have an Exploud. Spoiler, he does. But honestly, yeah, that Exploud fits Bakugo to a T. But more importantly, we get this interaction with Kirishima and Mina, who are also just looking at. Now, Mina and Kirishima at this point, I'm not gonna say what their teams are. We will see some of Mina and Kirishima's teams later on, but I'm just first off making sure I know what I gave these guys in terms of Pokemon on her team. Will they have caught anything at this point on their team? Actually, I'll say this: Mina's caught an extra Pokemon on her team. Kirishima, no, but his team's pretty much okay for right now. But anyway, Kirishima just looking and saying, "Dude, you really need to chill out." "Shut up! You don't need to shut up. I'll be as mad as I want to be." And Mina points out, it's like, What's your deal with Midoriya? I mean, yeah, he's a bit of a newbie and stuff like that, but aren't we all kind of newbies and stuff like that? And Bakugo kind of explains what his issue really with Midoriya is. He thinks he can just do whatever he wants. He thinks he can just show up and ruin other people's dreams. Nah, that he's gonna be the greatest in the world. Well, that title's already taken. I've got the lineage. I've got the team. I've got the talent. That loser's got nothing. He's never going to surpass me. Never. Similar, basically, to what we see in the actual series of My Hero Academia, where he was really Bakugo's issue is always the fact that he had a superiority complex, to the degree that was enforced and reinforced by everyone around him, telling him how great he really was. And yeah, it's it's one of those things that it was a piss poor way to raise a child. And his parents even admit we didn't really do anything about it because really he was getting good grades, he was excelling. We should have done something about it, but we didn't, and that's kind of on us. So anyway, and Kirishima and me just kind of look, it's like, ugh, man. Meanwhile, we cut back to the gym battle with Inkei using pluck and barely scoring out a win against Kamui was Trevant, or I believe it's Trevant, the tree. But he does ultimately get the win, and the congratulations. It's like, yeah, woo, way to go! That was really impressive, Shinso. Thanks. Hey, congratulations, you won. As promised, here's your badge, Arbor badge. I'm not doing TMs in this, by the way. I realized I didn't bring it up in the last one, but I'm not doing TMs. If they pick up TMs, it's just that they buy them or something like that. It's not that you find one randomly sitting around. That's just weird. Like, hey, someone left this disc here. Huh. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work. But anyway, seeing as you guys are traveling together, I'll reiterate what I told young Midoriya here. If you want your next gym battle, you're gonna have to head all the way through. You're gonna have to head all the way through the deep wood forest. Wait, I thought this was all arbor forest. Well, no, from that route it's arbor forest. From that route it's deep wood forest. And they see that arbor forest, while very expansive, does have like pockets and stuff like that where there's clearly areas where sun is getting through and stuff. Deep wood forest, no. Deep wood forest is the route, is basically kind of like your route. Which route would this be? 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like your route 4-ish area, but not quite. It's just another forest, but it's much denser. There's very little light that's getting through. Enough that it's not like pitch black in there, but it's pretty dark and murky in there. But then they also see beyond the forest on the horizon that there's a little like ship village. It's like, oh, you mean that place over there? Yep, it's several miles away. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a bit of a walk, but it shouldn't be too bad as long as you don't get lost. Just follow the path and you'll be fine. So after they go and heal their Pokemon at the center, they make their way into Deepwood Forest, and they're all talking and just getting to know each other. And Sui actually asks it's Sui, but Sue actually asks Shinso, like, so Shinso, what's your dream? I was like, well, I mean, Deco wants to be the Pokemon champion, and I have a dream of working on being the best frog Pokemon trainer. Do you have any dreams? Yeah, Shinso, and Shinso's kind of like, well, I do have a bit of a dream, but it's maybe not as impressive as his, or glamorous as or as unique as yours. It's like, well, I mean, and Rory's like, well, what is it? It's like, well, it's like, I just want to prove that I can be a good Pokemon trainer. What do you mean? Not a lot of people in my family are Pokemon trainers, and the few who are haven't tried the challenge, didn't really get past, like, say, the second gym or so. So it's important for me to go out and prove my family name. Plus, my family also is kind of frowned upon a little bit. Frowned upon, and then he points out his appearance. Now, when you really break it down, Shinso's appearance isn't that extreme compared to someone like even Asui's isn't that extreme, but it is noticeable. But it's not extreme compared to like Mina's or Tokiyami's, or I can't even remember the guy who's basically a glue dispenser, but like that. But he does look ghoulish, and he explains like, yeah, it's kind of a trait that kind of extends throughout my entire family. We all kind of look ghoulish, and it kind of causes people to distrust us a little bit. Really. And I want to show that not only is there no reason to fear us, but that we can be good Pokemon trainers. And Asui just kind of looks at it and is like, wow, that's really impressive. I believe you can do it. And Asui just looks at Deku and is like, well, no matter what, you can't let anyone get you down. Trust me. If I let Bakugo get me down every time he put me down, I wouldn't have even got out the house and gotten my first Pokemon. It's like, from what I understand, you didn't get your first Pokemon when you got out of the house. It's like, God, the point is, you can't, there's like a Pitbull, kind of like an anime sweat drop, and Pitbull. It's like, yeah, point is, you can't let other people's opinions, whatever people think of you, get you down like that. If people support you, ultimately, no one's opinion should matter but your own. If people support you, that's great. They can help move you along. And if people don't support you, that's their problem. Just use that as fuel and motivation. And Shin says like, it's like, thanks for the motivational speech, but I already knew that. I go, oh well, I was just trying to help, and I appreciate it. And Shinzo actually takes a little notice too, who's kind of looking at Deku, not like what she was like, like I want him, but more in the sense that she's actually got, she can actually see the admiration kind of really forming in Sue's eyes about Midoriya, and she even got a little, and she sees Shinso kind of looking at her a little bit, and she's got actually a little blush in her face, like, what are you looking at? Oh, nothing. You just just looked like you were thinking about something. Yeah, I was just thinking about what Deku said. It was really impressive. And it's like, yeah, it really was impressive. And he's like, so that's how it is. Deku, it's like, Midoriya, you ladies man. I actually think Midoriya is kind of an unsung ladies man when you really, like, I think he gets a lot of girls actually like him more than he thinks they do. I mean, we know obviously Ochaka and Uraraka and Toga do, Himiko do. But I'm willing to bet there might be others who have like a kind of crush on him, and we just don't know it yet. But point being, though, as they're getting deeper in the woods, they're seeing some Pokemon, go about doing going about minding their own business, and all of a sudden they see something. They're wondering, how late in the day is it? I'm getting tired. Like, yeah, it's not that late. We haven't been walking along. Why am I feeling so tired? All of a sudden they see something kind of moving in the bushes a little bit. It's like, what the heck is? And then all of a sudden Shinso actually takes out a Pokeball and sends out Inkay. And Inkay uses a Psybeam, and it tags whatever in the bushes. And give me 1 second here. I want to make sure I got the attack list for him right at the moment. There we go. Yeah. So that's what he had right there. So he basically lands it, and out of the bushes comes a drowsy. And Drowsy is, is looking fight because he tags it. It's that Drowsy's fault. He was probably using some of his abilities, and it was spilling over onto us. And him and Inkay have a fight. Ultimately, I'm not going to go into the actual fight because when it comes to actually catching Pokemon, unless it's a really important capture, I'm not really going into the details that much. But needless to say, the Drowsy gets defeated. He throws a Pokeball and he catches the Drowsy. So now he has a Drowsy on his team. Uses one of the potions he got, kind of heals it up a little bit. Drowsy's like Drowsy, and they're all good. They're still, but as he heals it up and returns it the ball, they're getting close to the end of the forest when all of a sudden they hear a sound where it's basically they hear, "Hey, that was a pretty good catch, kid." It's like, "What? Yeah, but we were looking for that. We were hoping to get that Drowsy." And they see in the trees 3 figures. 2 of them jump down, and it's basically I'm using this image because I think it'd be because League of Villain Grunts, because that's the name of the evil team. It's the League of Villains. So it's like, yeah, but if you want, why don't you? But I don't know if you're really capable of handling that Pokemon there, buddy. Maybe you should hand it off to us. We'll take good care of it. No, I caught it fair and square. Piss off. So is that right, huh? Yeah, that's right. Now back off. And I say, oh, well, we'll see about that. Coughing, go, Scrappy, go. And a coughing and a Scrappy come by. I didn't put those there because, frankly, it really wouldn't have mattered that much. And him and Deku get up and say, all right, you want to go? Fine. And Deku sends out Rufflet, and Shinso even says, you want this, Drowsy? He's like, you're going to have to work for it. And then, him and Drowsy come out. And their fight commences. Not going to go into too big a detail. Rufflet quickly actually dispatches a Scrappy as it's a much higher level, and it does no peck, which allows it to pretty much just knock it out, being it is a flying and fighting type, and fighting is weak to flying. And then Coughing gets knocked out pretty quick with the confusion. They do take a little bit of damage, but nothing serious. Like, oh crud. Now, in terms of which one of these grunts was which, the 2 ones in the front were the grunts for that. That being said, the third grunt, more of you idiots, you get back here. You may have handled these chumps pretty well, but I'm an elite League of Villain grunt. You're not going to be taking me down so easy. And then sends out a Pokeball, and a Gligar comes out. Gligar! And this Gligar is definitely a bit more of a cut above the rest, as it quickly dispatches Rufflet in the air, and then makes a little bit of work of Drowsy, using such things as acrobatics and even a poison sting. He does take at least 1 confusion though from Drowsy, so he does unfortunately get some damage, but he's still going strong. I was like, oh crap, we're gonna have to go for. I guess we're gonna have to go for aces. All of a sudden, a little frog comes out, and Froakie just comes out. What? Froakie! Wait, Froakie, what do you say? I'll take care of this, guys. You guys can't do all the fighting. I've got this. Don't worry. So now it's Froakie versus Gligar. Gligar comes in, is using Poison Sting. Froakie's able to use Lick and actually paralyzes it, but it's still able to move. You can move partially when paralyzed. It's just, unfortunately, comes and goes. Like paralysis comes and goes. Struggles. Froakie uses then pounds on Gligar. It's like, don't you hurt my friends. Unfortunately, Gligar counters back and is able to move again with some acrobatics. And that unfortunately causes Froakie to, take a serious hit. It's like, Froakie, no! Can you get up, Froakie? It's like, that Froakie is pretty tough. And we don't see many of those around here. That's going to be a good little catch for the league. So why don't you just give up now? As the woman quickly comes and actually uses the paralysis heal. And it's like, Froakie, it's like, you can do it. I don't believe, you're not weak. You're not weak. You're the strongest Pokemon I know, Froakie. Now come on, show them what we can do. Show what frog Pokemon can do. Froakie! And the white light envelops Froakie. And from that light, you get a Frogadier. It's like, Froakie evolved into Frogadier. I don't know. I can't remember what Frogadier sounded like, but Frogadier. I don't know. That's my Frogadier. 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 And they begin the fight again. Except now, Frogadier's upped a couple upped in terms of a couple, its stat points, and is a lot more agile thanks to this form. So when Acrobatics comes again, Frogadier, grab him! Suddenly grabs Gligar's claws. He's using Acrobatic. Now pound! And except this time, it's almost like a seismic toss, but still bad. Just boom! Smacks Gligar. And then, if I remember correctly, how the techniques that Frogadier learned at this point, where, if I remember correctly, that's a good question. What did I have Frogadier learn at this point? I am now unprepared. No, oh yeah, Froggy did have one other attack I didn't use, and then used Water Pulse and just boom, smacked and just lands smack dabbing on Gligar, and there's it's like, we gotta get out. This isn't the end, you little punks. And then they basically just hightail it out of there. It's, oh, sweet. That was awesome, Sue. I was like, yeah, I think, well, it was really Frogadier who saved us. You did great, Frogadier. But then Midoriya points out, true, but if you hadn't believed in Froakie and trained it so well, it wouldn't have evolved into Frogadier in the first place. You really are amazing, Sue. And again, Sue has a little bit of a blush. She's like, thanks, Midoriya. I mean, I'm just trying to do my best. And Sheen says, like, oh, God, these two. And he realizes, like, I'm gonna have to be dealing with this forever until they freaking realize they like each other. Oh God. So as they are heading out of the forest, they make sure to keep an eye out, see if the League of Villain Grunts are gone. But no, they're long gone. They come out into a clearing and they see a very interesting sight. They see what it looks to be like a fishing town. It's a pretty sizable little fish. It's not huge, but it's a fishing town, city-esque area. There's some minor large buildings, but there's nothing ultimately huge. There's no skyscrapers or anything like that. What's really interesting is how brightly lit the city is, because it's dusk when they're getting there. So they figure, well, challenge the gym in the morning or in the next day. But it's really brightly lit. There's a lot of spectacle lights. There's even like a little not amusement park per se, but almost like a little playground that's got like a carousel, little merry-go-round. Anyway. Merry-go-round, light. It's so bright, and often they see what looks to be like a power plant of some kind that's floating in the water. And one is like, I guess that's how these guys power themselves. Interesting. And that is where we're going to leave off this part of our story. I believe we're on part 5 now. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superior, Magic, what if, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Later.